Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep going?
No.
Ask me. Everybody wonder why my smile is so deep. Everybody wonder why my eyes sparkle. Everybody always asks me, why are you smiling when you dance? Because you don't understand the live through. It's worth it to smile. And I'm still smiling, and I'm going to continue to smile. And majority of y'all who continue to ask me and going to tell me that I'm pointing fingers to kiss my natural black ass and miss me with that shit. Bye. Bye. And when it comes out, don't come running back. I shouldn't have to get this nitty gritty for people to wake fuck up. I shouldn't have to say something like that for you to be like, oh shit, she's probably telling the truth. It is pathetic that people gotta go here. It's pathetic that it's gonna take somebody to say it was me for somebody to understand.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to your boy, The Sean Davey Way Show. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in and tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, I bring you a surviving TikTok on none other than Ali Carter, who has been making waves around TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, basically all social media, speaking on her experience of being a foster child and being sex trafficked in the process. Allegedly, upon her time being in foster care, moved from home to home, system to system, she was pimped by not only her foster family, but random men that she met when she was underage that transcended into her being at these alleged Hollywood elite parties, including Hugh Hefner, Diddy, and so much more. Ali states that while underage, she was at these parties as a party favor. In the Diddy transcripts from court, we've seen many people come forward and said that there was a plethora of drugs around and those were considered the party favors. But this is the first time we've heard of a human party favor, and she stated that that was her role. So without holding you any further, let's jump right into surviving TikTok, the Ali Carter story. Let's start at the beginning, or as close to the beginning as we can get. February 15th, 1994, Ali was born. An alleged California native, she was brought up with her mother and not her father. And we will definitely get into who allegedly her father is later on in this video. But she was raised by a single mother and ended up getting put into foster care around the age of 13, 14 years old. And that is what Ali has stated on her TikTok, that around the time to where she was a teenager, she was finally placed into foster care. Ali has made a lot of allegations against her foster families. So I'm assuming that her mother, Shelly, who she calls her mom on TikTok and other social media platforms, finally put her in a good position and in a good home. It's kind of confusing because Ali does speak a lot about being in and out of homes and dating men underage. So if all of those things was happening, it does sound as if they may have been happening under Shelly's watch. Because again, she said around the time of 13, 14 years of age that she was placed into the foster system. What is not necessarily clear is exactly when these antics with her, if she just remembers, but honestly, most 3 months old have no memory at all. I understand trauma can make your memory very vivid, but at the same time, again, I can't tell you what I was doing at 1 year old, let alone 3 months old. So I'm assuming that someone told Ali that about herself. Not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying a 3-month-old definitely does not recollect such memory. Ali also states in the video that she was basically wishing her mother a happy adoption day. She doesn't state exactly when the adoption happened, so we're not sure how long the mother has had her. And again, she does speak a lot about being in and out of homes, that her foster father would tell her to keep her door open at night just in case of blah, blah, blah. And she pretty much puts it as a reference that he wanted her to keep her door open so that he could come in there and do certain things to her. Don't lock the door, basically, because I'm going to be coming in. So I don't know when or where all of this correlates, but you will hear some of these things while this video continues. So again, we don't know her exact adoption date, and we also don't know when she can exactly pinpoint when this alleged abuse started happening to her. I digress. Let's move right along.
Why do you always apologize for everything? Trauma? And why do you always show proof or receipts of what you're talking about, like we're going to assume you're lying? Trauma. And why do you always assume that nobody's going to like you if you're just being yourself?
But if you paid attention in the last clip, there was a black woman that she was extremely happy that was outside. And when the black woman entered inside of the home that Allie was in, she runs and she jumps on top of her and hugs her. Also in the video, she states about how her mother was one of the only people that had her back. So I'm assuming that this is Allie's birth mother, and other people have stated this as well, that this woman that she gives a big bear hug is her biological mother. So it does seem that Allie may have some sort of relationship with her biological mother. So if you're looking up at the screen right now, this is the woman that is allegedly Allie's birth mother. It confuses me because Allie is an advocate for SA and any children going through anything like that. She is completely against it due to all of the things that happened to her. If she wants all of the adults to be held accountable, I'm sadly, unfortunately, going to have to point out that wouldn't her mother, her biological mother, be one of those people? She said that she was 3 months old when the abuse allegedly started happening. That means that she was in her mother's custody because she did not get put into foster care until she was around 13 or 14 years old. So it gives that her mother was very complicit in letting her be a part of these satanic rituals that she speaks of that had been happening to her ever since she was 3 months old. So why does she still have a relationship with her birth mother if she allowed her to go through so many things, including going into the foster care system and the unthinkable happening to her while that was going on? So again, I am kind of side-eyeing Allie a little bit. I don't think it takes away from her story. I'm not saying it to be harsh. I'm just saying it because I am a realist, and I feel that every enabler, anyone that was complicit in what was going on, should be held accountable. But again, I'm going to have to digress and move right along to the next part of this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Allie Carter has been speaking out since around 2020. Now that all of this stuff is going on with Diddy, and she alleges that she was a part of these parties in underground tunnels and dungeons and museums, etc., she has gone viral on TikTok and many other places. Let's get into Allie's story about Diddy and what happened at these parties while she was a party favor underage.
I thought to elite jobs and elite parties, orgies that were with celebrities, the Getty Los Angeles Museum, traveling to the Buckingham Palace, military bases, I thought everything was gonna be fine. I lived in a home in Fontana, California. And I lived with a 16-year-old boy.
Into the pimp world and the prostitution world in its entirety. It started with some energy that was happening to her inside of the foster care system, and it was very tumultuous. So she had to get out of the situation. In doing so, she trusted, like a lot of other young ladies, a random man to rescue her. She just wanted to be out of that situation and to not have to worry about the things that she had to worry about. She felt like CPS was in on it. They keep putting her at certain levels and whatnot because she kept being vocal and expressing what was happening to her. So they tried to restrict her to being quiet as much as they could. She gets out of the foster home, pretty much runs away is what I'm gathering from it, lives with this guy because she was underage. So there was no way of her legally being able to be with a grown man. And that man introduced her into a whole nother world. Being in California, that's where a lot of the celebrities roam, and the bigger parties and whatnot are going to be happening with celebrities. A lot of celebrities hire SCX workers. So pimps are very essential in making sure that the parties go off really well by having attractive women and sometimes younger women there. Now, Allie is going to express how it went from foster care to meeting this random man that started pimping her to her being at Diddy parties.
As to underground tunnels. We had to take an elevator and stairs. We had to be led. There is no way that you can just walk into a tunnel. The entrances and the exits are in your face, but there's no way that you can just walk through tunnels. You'll get stuck. You'll go deeper and deeper, and you won't be. Tunnels run all different directions for miles and miles and miles and miles. So if you go down the wrong one, you'll get stuck, and it's confusing to turn back around and get back to where you're going. So you have to be led in and out. People build these tunnels, and they've built them for decades. There's a lot, and elite celebrities, they go down there for parties. I met some really elite people when I was there. I had to do jobs with some elite celebrities.
Side note, this is Allie explaining how she knows about the underground parties, the tunnels, the museums, the elaborate satanic rituals. This is how she allegedly knows. I would love to hear in the chat if you believe Allie's story. Do you believe that she was there? Do you believe that she was a party favor? Do you believe in the underground tunnels, the museum parties, the Met Galas and whatnot? It does seem as if it may be far-fetched, but it doesn't mean that it's not true. In the next clips, Allie is going to express how it did not end there. She was also sent overseas to men and used as a party favor there, and a weekend girlfriend, to where men pay for younger women to be their girlfriend for the weekend. They treat them very lavishly and whatnot, but it's extremely inappropriate. And this is her story, so let's listen to Allie.
She called the police, she called the social worker, and thank God they did, because it stopped the Russia order. It stopped my pickup. I was sitting on the swings getting ready to leave to go to Russia, and it stopped everything. That night, after telling my mom the complete truth and knowing that I wasn't about to come back, I made a choice to run and to disappear, because there was no way. CPS wasn't listening. My social workers knew and was in on it. They would tell me to stop telling people. People were making fake court orders for my mom. That was the time where I was like, it's either life or death right here. And the next time that I have to try to make this decision, I'm probably going to be somewhere where I can't get out. So I ran. I disappeared from Child Protective Services government custody for a year straight. By less than a few weeks, because of my last name and because of the elite ties that I have, they took me out of the missing child's network system, and removed me from any Amber Alerts or any type of system to tell anybody that I was missing. But CPS still collected money for me. There were fake FBI that were sent out to torment my mom, to mess with people that I knew of that my pimp seen me with, because he made it. There were fake FBI that came out to torment my mom because my pimp made it in a way that he knew who I was hanging around. He knew what I was doing at school. He knew all those things. But I had to be safe, and I can't say exactly how I disappeared. It would incriminate a few really, really, really good people, because they had to do what they had to do to make sure that I'm still sitting here right now. If I didn't leave that park that day, I'd probably still be stuck in somebody's tunnel, or dead blood, fire engine red. And it was so bright that it was so noticeable anywhere I went, and I had brushed it out so it's frizzy and crazy. And I went and sat on the swings, and I called my mom and my
grandma at the time, and I told her, I love you. I don't know if I'll talk to you again, but I'm about to leave. And she's like, where? And when my grandma heard that in my voice, she rushed to the park. She saw me sitting on the swings. She's like, get home now. She called my mom. My mom called the foster home. She called the police. She called the social worker. And thank God they did, because it stopped the Russia order. It stopped my pickup. I was sitting on the swings getting ready to leave to go to Russia. And it stopped everything. That night, after telling my mom the complete truth and knowing that I wasn't about to come back, I made a choice to run and to disappear, because there was no way, kicker, because they don't have any respect for you, and especially being a prostitute, they didn't have any respect at all. So some men like to have sex with you with their feet, put you on leashes, make you lick the floor or lick their feet, piss on you, shit on you, things like that. When I figured that out, I was like, I was praying, please God, let me get back to California. And I promise I will be a freaking angel for this man, because I don't want to end up staying here. When we came back, my pimp told me I was going back out there before a week. The money that was exchanged is when I knew it was time to make a decision, because I knew I wasn't coming back. And I knew that he promised that he would bring me back, but there was money counters that came out. There was a huge meeting that he had to have. There was paperwork. And that's when I realized I have to do something, because they're going to kill me. And in the worst way. And he told me, you're just going to leave for a week. And I'm like, there's no way. So I got out of school. I was told to go to the park in Fontana and sit on the swings. I had bright red hair, and this is what saved my life, because I was about to get branded. I was about to change my complete look to go to Russia, because that's what my pimp was telling me to do. So I braided my hair and I changed it. It was blood fire engine red, and it was so bright that it was so noticeable anywhere I went, and I had brushed it out so it's frizzy and crazy. And I went.
Side note, I do think it's very important that she tells her full story. Then it helps people align how she got into this at all, why she was in it, and why she couldn't get out of it, and why it's very important that she is speaking now. These men are very high powered. If you notice in the beginning of this video, Allie does shout out names of many celebrity high-powered people, including Beyonce, Denzel Washington, and others. So I do find it a little eerie that she keeps saying Russian this, Russian that, but she does not display who this person is. If you're going to be a whistleblower, you cannot stop blowing the whistle. The whistle has to stay in your mouth. You can't pick and choose who you're going to protect. I care a lot about Allie, but I do feel that it is important for anybody that hurt or harmed you to come to justice, because you could not have been the last one. There were girls before you, there was girls during you, and there's definitely going to be girls after you. So I think it's important that you state who these people are. With that being said, out of all of the powerful men in Russia, who do you think that she's referring to? Because you got to be pretty powerful to do these things and to get away with them. You don't have to be powerful to break the law, but you do have to be powerful to get away with it. Let's keep listening to Allie's story.
We had this deal, and this deal was that he wouldn't, the other girls and the other boys that he had, he wouldn't just leave me. He wouldn't sell me out of country and leave me there. He made that promise, and of course, there's no promises that he kept. They were all empty and broken and lies. So when I had to go to this auction and this man from Russia purchased me, I thought, okay, we'll just come right back. And the first time he said, you'll leave with him. He wants to have what's called a girlfriend experience, where they're able to take you home and they're able to keep you for the weekend, and have you wake up next to them, is the girlfriend experience. And when I went with this man for a weekend, it was culture shock. The smells were different. The buildings were different. Everybody talked different. I didn't understand anybody. I was the only black girl, so when it comes to Americans and if I just did what he said, then I would become bottom, which means top. He proposed to me when we were 15 years old. And his promise, with me being his wife, I was running around in very expensive diamond rings. My mom smashed so many of them. My mom now, when she found them, she smashed some in the street, and she didn't understand. I wasn't telling her everything. I was just saying I have a 27-year-old boyfriend. I have my man, my husband is a grown man, and I was 15. So when he proposed to me, the promise was that if I said yes, and if I did what he said, then I would stay with him. And there was other girls that I saw with him. There were other girls that I shared him with. That sounds so ass backwards. But when you say it like that, but that was backwards to say. But it is what it is.
Side note, Allie was allegedly proposed to by this man with a diamond-studded ring at the age of 15 years old. She states that there were other girls around him while it was going on, and it does give that there were certain things going on between her and the other girls that he would propose happen. I, again, think it's very important that Allie states who this man is. He needs to be brought to justice. It may not happen here, but it could happen in Russia because they have laws too, and a lot of stuff they do not allow. So again, Allie, love you down, but please, if you're going to state stories like this, it's very important to put a name on it. And if you're not ready to put a name on it, then you don't have to tell the story, sweetie. You really don't. You can keep it inside until you're ready to bring this person to justice. Other than that, it kind of just seems that you're telling a very vivid story that is very triggering. And because you may be over, it doesn't mean that other victims that are listening to you and that are supporting you, it doesn't mean that they're over it either. So being a whistleblower and coming forward is very brave, and people are going to want to protect you. So if they see that you are allowing these men to get away with what they did to you, then it puts them in a protective mode to where they want to do something, and they want, more importantly, for you to do something. But I digress. Let's keep listening because there is more.
I had a pimp who sold me to Russia one time. He promised me that it's weird in I mean, everything is backwards, but in trafficking, in being a prostituter, there's rankings to things. So a trafficker, a pimp, and a John are three different things. When you are one of the girls or one of the guys, you have a kind of a ranking, and being bottom bitch means being top. So when at one point you had to work for that ranking, though, if there's multiple girls or multiple boys in a pimp's possession, you have to work for that ranking. You have to work for that, basically, respect from your pimp to be able to have your pick of jobs. And it's not like you get to pick if you don't want to be hurt. It's just kind of choosing a lesser evil type of situation. So if you find that ranking, or if you have that ranking with your pimp, then you can kind of pick what jobs you want. So if there's sex machines, then you can pick kind of the least painful
sex machine to have to be on for hours. So with my pimp, I started learning that if I was nice to him, if I didn't.
A very, very powerful story. In the next clip, we're going to explain a lot of the energy that she has towards CPS. Allie feels that CPS was completely complicit in a lot of the things that happened to her, and not only her, other young ladies and boys. She calls them out, and powerful figures as well. And she also says that it's okay if they take her life because she does not plan on not bringing these people to justice. But she also says, which is jarring, that she's tired of protecting these people. Well, Allie, my question is, who exactly are you protecting? You said a lot of names, but when it comes to the people that are directly in contact with you and the things that have happened to you, you kind of seem to hold back a little bit. So I'm right there with you, Allie. I think that you should say these names as well. Say their names and say them loud. Let's get into how she feels about CPS.
Ask him. I'm sick of covering for everybody. Kill me. I dare you. You tried all my life and I'm still sitting here. That right there proves who my God is. So you can continue because at least I know where I'm going. And when I get there, I can talk to my friends. Really can. I got a bone to pick with Jesus, but I got it. It's fine. It's fine. And yes, my pinky's broken. For those who keep circulating this picture of this girl with a broken pinky, yeah, my pinky's broken. It was broken at 12 years old when I tried to fight back and that didn't work. So there's a lot of parts of my body that pops and locks and shit because a lot of people started tying me up, and I'm really small. If you've ever met me, I'm really, really small. So people used to use me a lot for baby jobs. So people used to use me a lot for party favors. That party favor that I was on the table, I wore wigs too. So if you want to turn those videos around, I have a wig on for some of those. But yeah, my pinky's broken, and so is my toe pinky. There's a reason for that.
If you're a truther, you need to look up party favor effect as it relates to Diddy's freak offs.
This is not just one problem. This is decades worth of an issue. You know that, right? Decades. He's one of millions. The party's just been going for forever, and everybody just got there. Hello, and thank you for those who are like, I've been sitting with you this whole time and I believe you. Thank you. You have no idea how much y'all mean to us. There ain't no money there's no price that anybody could put on that to say unconditionally, I believed you since the beginning. Thank you. Because that shit has been my whole entire life. That's all. I don't need any money. I want to go to school. I really want to go to school. It's not even about graduating. It's about the fact that it's the principle of the thing. I can say I did it because all my life I've been illiterate and I've just been a sex slave and I can do all that. No, I could go to school. I could be a grown-ass woman, and I am a woman of my word. I'm a choreographer and I love kids even though I can't have kids. So if you have met me in this time, I thank you for spending the time that you have with me. Because now that you see all this stuff on Twitter, and now that you see all this stuff on social media, you've met the real me. You've spent time with the real me. You know that I would do anything to keep a child safe. You know that I would do anything to have some peace. So if you have met me in this time, under the name of justice, you now have gotten to know me. So whatever you see on social media, thank you for making that decision to say, I've seen this and I've seen this. And now you can use your brain to see the truth. So we'll be live soon. And we'll also be dropping an affidavit soon. I don't know what's supposed to come from that. I don't even care. It is what it is. So all insurance holders on standby, please, because I have a feeling this shit is not going to end.
You know the drill.
We're at the starting line. of all kind of bullshit again. Hopefully it's not going to pause. Hopefully we're not going to stop. Hopefully it's not going to be a slap on the wrist and then he kills himself and then he sits in the jail cell and everybody goes back to putting their head in the sand. Hopefully people understand that this is not about an election because the election is canceled because everybody is on the list. Let me tell you something. They make sure in those parties that they have blackmail evidence. So if they go down, they taking everybody down with them. I pray to God that this is the day. I pray to God that this is the time, because all the victims deserve some type of justice, and it's just a matter of taking accountability and somebody saying, we are fucking sorry that we didn't hear you guys forever ago. There are people who are dead. There are babies who have lost their lives because nobody was listening. And now everybody, I want to listen. You are late. You're fucking late. I'm glad we here. Sure.
As you've heard, Allie calls out CPS, Child Protective Services, among other high-powered people in the industry, including Beyonce, Denzel Washington, Diddy, and this new affidavit that just came out. She calls out Birdman. Still hasn't necessarily named the person from Russia, but I guess she's getting there. So as of now, I cannot tell Allie that she is not telling the truth. We will break down more of this information in part 2. I am just getting started. But it comes to a point where a person has to call a thing, call a spade, and question part of this story. As of now, again, I'm not questioning Allie about her sexual abuse, but when it comes to her stating who her biological father is, I'm definitely side-eyeing. Not only has Allie been through all of the things that she has been through, but allegedly, the legendary Tupac Shakur is her father. She states she wasn't told that he was her father to protect her, and he wasn't listed on her birth certificate because of a shift change with the nurses at the hospital when she was born. Now, I understand a lot of people have been very upset about Allie coming forward and stating this about Tupac when it has been listed that Tupac Shakur, unfortunately, had no children. He never had a child, but Allie states that that is not true, that she is the legendary Tupac Shakur's biological daughter. I'm not going to hold you any further. Let's jump right into Allie stating this out of her own mouth.
Now this is the next level,
digging and seeing where things led and who I really was and what was really going on, because things didn't make sense to me. Everybody kept my baby picture from me. Nobody wanted to show me my birth certificate. People kept things from me like it was a huge secret. People treated me different. And I have one baby picture. Just one that we found. They told me at St. Bernardine's Hospital in San Bernardino, California, that the reason why my father wasn't on the birth certificate was because it was shift change. And that the nurse had to sign for me because it was shift change. St. Bernardine's, when I went back a few years ago, I asked them for the paperwork, and the nurse started crying when she went back into the inventory and saw my last name. She came out and she was crying and shaking, and I was already saying she was so sorry, and she didn't even tell me what happened yet. And I'm like, why are you crying? What's really going on? And so I was like, maybe I don't want to know the truth. And I don't have any baby pictures of me. I don't know what I would look like as a kid. I can't have kids myself because of everything that has happened. And then the kid that is probably out there of mine, it's a long story. And I had no choice. And if I did have a choice, I'd be the best damn mom that I could be, but I don't have a choice. But we found one baby picture. Just one. And I think everybody has already seen it. So I'm asking and I'm trying to connect those dots. And I noticed that the outlaws are very strong. They're very strong in what they do. They're weak. Pussies. They're weak. They get away with thugging and taking people and calling shots and playing God all the time. And I was supposed to be that person. I was supposed to grow up and be that person, and everybody used to be scared of me for that reason, because I was one of those shot callers when I was really young. And the Outlaws are known for that. Tupac is an outlaw. Tupac is an outlaw. Tupac is Tupac is Hussein is my blood. I don't know the absolute truth, the complete truth, but from the pieces that I put together,
During this interview that Ali did, she states that Tupac Shakur was her father, and in the interview they put up this picture as her proof that she is the baby in this photograph. I am not going to put up any side-by-sides or anything like that because we simply do not have to. Doing fact-checking, Tupac Shakur took a lot of pictures with a lot of children, including his own family, which is inside of this photo. This is not Allie Carter. How do I know this is not Allie Carter? Because she's a girl. This is a boy. Not only is the baby pictured inside of the photograph with Tupac Shakur a male, it is his nephew. This is Tupac Shakur's sister's son. If you pay attention to the photograph that was used inside of the interview that Allie was allegedly saying that was a baby picture of her with her alleged father, Tupac Shakur, that is a male. And that was taken inside of Tupac Shakur's sister's home. Look at the photographs. Same shirt, same necklace with the baby, same clothing, same bracelet on the arm. This, unfortunately, is not Allie Carter. I don't know who told her that, but she is very so much sadly mistaken. They do have a small resemblance between the two, Tupac Shakur and Allie, but again, Tupac does not have any documented children. And unfortunately, again, Allie, you are not one of them. Please tell me what you think below this video and in the comments of how you feel about Allie. Do you feel like this discourages and diminishes her entire story? Or do you think maybe someone was telling her this as she was growing up? It's like a fairy tale that Tupac Shakur was her father because she was like a big fan of him and whatnot. I don't know. But Part 2 will detail a lot more things that we do not know about Allie. Again, this is just the beginning. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of Surviving TikTok, Allie Carter. Until the next video, bye.